Engaged crying sequence.
Engaged crying sequence. Hello, everybody.
Hey, friends. It's me, Cynthia.
And Azalea. And we're Green Girl Studios. Okay.
We did it.
No. All right, guys. We got some interesting stuff happening today.
Always interesting
It's ready.
stuff.
It's time for Magic Hour.
Time for our allotment of creative energy. We're still kind of setting things up here, but not, Hello, Facebook user.
Hello. You're gonna have to put your name in there, friend.
Yeah, you have to say allow StreamYard if they ask you.
All right. Oh wow, we've already got 13 people. We've been going for less than a minute. That's crazy. I guess you guys are real ready.
She says, "Hey, Cynthia and Azalea, happy magical Sunday."
Hello.
Woohoo! Hello, Cherie. Hello, Meryl. Wow. Yeah. Robin. So today, I'm going to show you guys. Azalea was like, nobody's gonna want to see this, but I'm going to show you guys how to paint some wooden beads. I know. She was like, nobody's going to do that, but you know what?
I just said that if you didn't have a very good picture in the newsletter, nobody's going to show up for the talk of painting wooden beads.
Well, sometimes, and then I ransacked my collection looking for my painted wooden beads, and all I could find was one of my painted rocks. Apparently, I sold them all, or I did something with it. I got so many boxes of art supplies and, just boxes of stuff. There's never-ending stuff. Hello, June. She says, hi, Cynthia and Azalea.
Hi, Pat.
Our friend Pat. So these, it's gonna, you're gonna have to be patient. Now, actually, you're not gonna have to be patient. You're just gonna have to see me do it, and if it looks terrible,
our light just got unplugged.
That was because of me. Everything is right under my knee. Hello, Robin. Shakita says, if you are live, we will come.
You guys will see some nice things tonight. We have 26 lots to show you?
Well, we put together, I've been hanging on to a bunch of beads, and I don't know if you all have ever made kits, but sometimes when you're making them, you won't have everything you need right there. You'll have to get, because, if you're going to have one kit, maybe you'll have enough to make one, but if you're trying to make any kind of volume, like, at least 10, you're going to have enough for 10 kits. So sometimes you won't have enough, and then you'll just wait, and you'll wait till you have enough. So I have these trays. I was going to show one, but I don't have one handy. I've got these segmented trays with all these Ziploc bags lined up, and it's like my little library. And then when I have enough of the beads, I put them in there. And then Azalea says, she'll go, is that in it? I'll say, Azalea, what do you think of this one?
Hi, women.
That's us.
That's the whole group. There's probably not a single man in our viewings right now, or there might be, but we have a lot of...
you never know who might show up. Friends. Sometimes our neighbor, Mike sometimes joins us. That's nice. You never know who might show up. Sometimes Sam. Sometimes Clem. You never know who's going to show up.
True.
Hello, watching on YouTube. Thank you, Carla. Azalea and Max made a video. They're working on a game.
It's almost done. We're making fall-inspired videos. We're not going to spill the beans of the secret yet, but we've been making videos.
And they look good. So we went to Hobby Lobby a couple days ago and bought some supplies. Not that I even needed any. We had all the stuff that, sometimes if you can't find it. This is like, I used to make fun of my dad. I was always making fun of him because he would be like, have you seen my, pliers, Allen wrench, whatever, hammer? And then he would go and then buy another one. And then we would find the other one, and then he'd have two. But instead, he'd have like 6 because he was all the time misplacing. And we'd be like, what? You have amnesia? And then guess what? 30 years later, who's doing it? This one right here, this person right here.
She's pointing to herself.
This person right here, always losing my stuff.
It's not me. You're losing your own stuff.
Pat's in Blowing Rock. Yes. I'm not sure where Blowing Rock is, but I feel like that's somewhere. I don't know where that is. I feel like I know. but I'll remember it halfway through this, and then you'll hear me say it. It's like a delayed reaction.
Oh, isn't that nice? We're only 5 minutes in. We already have 48 people.
Yes,
That's crazy.
Amazing.
We're building up our crew. We
Thank
got to
you.
get into it. Let's show off what we got here. Let's
All
show
right.
this last.
Last.
Yeah.
All right, last.
Unless you want to, we usually do this the demo and then the sale. Put him
Oh,
away.
Marty.
Marty
was
makes
I-
an appearance every time.
Oh, Max wants to make
This
an
is my
appearance.
son.
That's Max. Here, turn yourself so you can say hi, Max. You guys, for ever wondering if you've ever questioned if he's actually real, Max is a real person.
This is my little brother, and this is my son.
Oh, Grand Kitty and Max. Yes, yes.
Grand Kitty.
People
and
never
Max.
believe Max. Oh, Sarah says Max. He's not,
He
one
doesn't
for the
want to be on the
likes.
camera.
He's not a camera person.
No.
Was going to see what you're doing tomorrow. Hey, that's like me. Sometimes the days of the week, they get messed up. All right. Let's flip this camera on and see what's happening. I'm going to try not to make this one too long because you know what? We did shrink plastic, and Azalea says,
We've
how
been
long-
going for an hour
how
and a
long
half
can
for
shrink
this
plastic
demo.
last?
I was
Only
into it
20,
too.
30 minutes maybe? Go get that fistful that you made the other day.
I put
She
them
was-
in my room.
You know what? She goes, let me just, I know.
We
how
were
to do
doing the
this.
demo before, and I used to make money off of those, so I got kind of good at them. And then Mom was making some funny little ones, and so
Not impressive. Let's just
I
say that.
inserted
Not
myself.
impressive. Lisa says, Cynthia, what are your earrings made of? Oh, these are from our friend Kira Boyd made these, and we picked them up at the Big Crafty. They're so cute. I got to show you these.
they're made of the
Those-
Glowforge, I think.
So they're made on the Glowforge, and they are so sweet and adorable, and they just catch the light. People are always commenting. I know, I'm a grown adult woman, and I'm wearing them, and people are like, those are so cute, I want them. And at first I was like, Azalea, do you think it's too young for me to wear? And I thought they look good against, they kind of flash.
They
when I
do
let
look
my hair
good.
down.
Anybody can wear them. Anybody.
Sarah says, I took a full day shrink plastic class. It can go on for hours easily. It can. And you could make earrings. Initially, I was like, I don't have a Glowforge, but I would like to make something similar. Not exactly like, but the lightweight and the translucency. And I found these charms somewhere in a box that I had. And I was like, oh, those would look good.
Are those resin?
There's some kind of resin, or I don't know what they are, some kind of, what they reminded me of when I saw them? I thought they were shrink plastic, but they'd been in my collection for a while. I don't know where they came from. But you could make these in shrink plastic, and that would be the most easy thing in the world because you would just use a ruler and a Sharpie and then cut. That could be scrap too, because look, it's not even even. It's like kind of cockeyed, but kind of a crystal shape. So if you have scraps of your shrink film, don't toss them if it's enough to make something as easy as that. And once you shrink it, and if you don't like the matte side, what we used to do, and this is like last year or so. When I say we used to do, we still do it. But if you don't like the one side, you could always put a little bit of UV resin and put it in that little easy bake oven light thing that it comes with, and it's done and done. So easy. I was going to do that. That's going to be next.
Next demo.
But Azalea was like, "Let me do it," because she was not impressed with my shrink
You make
plastic.
like
tried
a
to make-
yellow mermaid tail nacho cheese chip pizza. It was different.
It wasn't a nacho
It was
cheese.
awesome.
It
All right.
was Not
You want to
nacho
do the
cheese.
demo?
All right. Azalea's
We're
like,
ready
get
for the
this.
demo.
People
We're
do not
9
want to sit
minutes
here.
in
They don't
talking
want to
about the
watch
nacho
me
cheese
make nacho
Okay.
cheese on the
on a
small
piece of
screen.
plastic. Okay.
You know what I can't find is my.
We're gonna move the camera and switch it. You guys get ready for this awesome technology we
Azalea
discovered.
has figured this out, and you know what? You know why we had a blurry screen?
Because my camera
Her
was.
screen protector was cracked, and
Just
it was
the
looking
screen
through
protector.
a screen protector.
All right,
Where's
let's
the,
switch.
Oh,
out.
there it is. I put it nice and handy right behind my head.
Oh, you see how awesome that was, you guys?
Good job, you did it. And look how clear it is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's
What
only
a
about
difference.
a half second delay. See?
No.
Barely any
Eggs.
delay.
Eggs.
Oh, hi Vicky. We wanted to tell you thank you so much for that box you sent us with that awesome serger and all those zippers and whatnot. Thank you. We haven't gotten a chance to turn it on and try it out yet. I was kind of afraid to break it, but I'm very thankful
there's
that
a
you
book
sent
in
that.
there.
I was wondering why you were, asking to.
if we got the serger, I was like, what is she talking about? And then Greg went to the post office and the mystery was solved. The mystery was absolutely solved.
All right, is this all set up? Is this straight? We gotta
kind of straight. We don't need
there you
that on
go.
there. We can just move that out of the way. So look at this I made. This is a salamander.
You want to zoom it in?
So
We'll test it
we
now.
did. Oh, serger is a great gift. Yes, I love a serger.
It's only like 9 inches
Go
wide.
get it, Azalea. It's so cute. I can't even hardly stand
Oh, there you go. There's the zoom.
Oh, yay!
It didn't work, so it was my camera that
It
was
was
being
your
faulty. Oops.
I have like 7 of these camera holders or phone
I'll
holders.
show it at the end. 'cause I didn't
And
want to switch the
none of
cameras.
them really work that great as far as being, like adjustable right away. So here again is my handy dandy handy palette. It's a Stay Wet. This is basically a sponge. Let me show you this. It's so good. So it's a sponge that's wet with a piece of some kind of paper, and this has been in my on my shelf for like 3 weeks, and it's still wet. It's amazing. So I did this first one and this one. I was trying to make a rainbow bead, but it kind of went brown. It's really easy for it to go brown. And what I like to do with these is coat them with a UV resin after, or a polyurethane spray. I'm going to show how this one took place.
That
so
just
all
looks
you need,
so good. Look how clear it is. You can even see the little dots in the dish. Yeah, I was getting scared that we spent that money on camo and that it wasn't focusing, but you can even see the pores in my hand. So that's good. I guess it was my camera.
Yeah.
Oops.
So its face kind of got it got damp, and so the paint spread. And this is all done on watercolor. This is not even acrylic. So in theory, it'll probably stain it, but I could keep going over it and painting over it, and it's kind of fun to do that. And I'll show you how that works. But I'll show you the base first. I'm going to put this on my right-hand side. This is a little tool I got on Etsy. There's a whole, it's like a whole collection of them for like $20. So I got them to see. And it's really pointed on this end, and I actually dropped it, and it got kind of kinked. Oh, these are wood. Yeah, but it's like parchment paper. They can go a month or more, I think, or more. Yeah, I think so. And it is very, very good. I love it. This palette. We're talking about this palette, y'all, in case you're wondering. It's good if you are using small amounts of paint and you're not painting continuously. Sometimes I don't paint continuously. Sometimes I'll paint and then I'll just leave it alone for a while. I need a bigger brush. Good thing I've left all this stuff out by my feet. All right. So if you leave the wood this color and you try to make a rainbow, everything is going to be kind of, like that color kind of palette. You're going to get a kind of a warm palette. But once these are coated, they can look like anything. And I used to make these when I was first starting out because it's a really inexpensive way to have some, variety in your beads. Now, these are from the craft store. They come in a bunch of different sizes and shapes. This is acrylic. I'm going to use acrylic in a wash first, and it'll seal that. Now, the other day, and by the other day, I mean a couple weeks ago, we watched one of the new GBE people, Jennifer Perkins, do a thing on painting and treating wooden beads. And she did a bunch of fun techniques that I like, but she didn't show some that I do. So I thought, hey, maybe I'll show some of the ways I do this. And basically, it's just how I paint. So it's not really very mysterious, but on a tiny little wooden thing, instead of like, say, a whole painting, you can make whole little worlds on these beads, especially if you can get different shapes. Like a tablet size would be really pretty. This one I'll make it look like clouds, I think. But they're fun to do. And I used to put smaller ones on necklaces, and you know what? You cannot really even tell what they're made out of once they're painted and glazed. And if you're thinking, oh, well, that is not going to be very sturdy because it's wood. Well, if I could find the necklace, I could show you guys the one that's from like the 90s. And as I've been told, that's a really long time ago. What Azalea said, she's like, you have that from then? She's actually wearing one of my necklaces from the 90s.
I don't think the 90s are that long ago.
Oh.
Because I was born right after the 90s, so
Right after.
2004 is not that long from the 90s.
No, it's not. So what I'm doing is this is actually just paint that was on my board, and it's acrylic. And it's not fancy. It's just like a blend. There's like some from Michaels, that stuff that's like, what do you call it? Create a color. Oh, Sarah says, that nice big hole will slip over Neelay's silver silk. That's the other thing that I love. I love it. Sarah says, I wonder if there has been a run on craft store beads from TGBE. Well, I went out and bought some. I got these on sale. I don't know if anyone's selling them on their website, but they're pretty common, And you could also, if you know someone that's like a wood turner, they make them. I know my grandpa used to make stuff like that all the time, just for fun. So what I'm doing is just basically covering the bead in washes of acrylic. And I'm thinking of doing a cloudy look. So I did this on a background, and sometimes I'll put like a drop of water to spread the paint around. And since these beads are wood, they will soak up your paints, and you'll get neat I don't know if you can see that, but you'll get neat patterns where it dries, kind of like watermarks. 1990, only 33 years ago. Oh, maybe Dollar Tree. I don't know if they have them. I found some at Hobby Lobby. They were on sale from I think the big strand was like $6, and then there was like a 30% off. I don't know. I know some folks are like, I hate Hobby Lobby, but you know what? Hobby Lobby bought our designs when we used to make stuff for Hobby Lobby. They bought them right out. And you know what? That's made in the US. Sometimes you get stuff and you can't always say that. We worked with, I'm not allowed to say, but in the past we've worked with different craft stores, and some of them, they'll take that stuff to China. So I have a soft spot for them. I know that people don't like their religious views, but all the women that I worked with at Hobby Lobby, which was pretty much all of them were women on the design team, I was like, do you guys feel like you're being, I don't know, subjugated? Like, no, we like it. So I was like,
I like getting paid, so that's a good feeling.
So they're like, hey, I get the weekends off, or whatever it was that they got off. I was like, all right. So anyway, and they have a good collection of stuff, Oh, what's the Hobby Lobby has carried Softluxe wear for years. I have a soft spot too. If you're going to put your money where your mouth is, that's important to me. I mean, maybe someone is really religious, but you know what? I try not to judge people on a good day, just in general. I mean, what you do in your own time, that's you. Like I've seen, like the other day, I saw something, what people should wear if they're over 30. And I thought, they're still doing this? Why can't we just stop judging each other and just move on and not, like come up with
Some
ways?
people are also chronically online.
I know.
Some people don't have lives outside of their Instagram page, which I know so many people that like all they do is for like everything that they do is for a picture that they're going to post.
Mm-hmm.
And they always have to be checking all their notifications. And I've been guilty of that before, but sometimes I just turn my phone off and go outside. And that's a good feeling.
That is the best.
And sometimes it's good to just disconnect from the judgment and the negativity and the meanness. You can just be free.
Like I remember a gal one time, she was saying she made a big post online. You can always tell a real artist by the state of their hands. And I was just like, what kind of asinine thing is that?
Yeah, some people just talk.
Mm-hmm.
They just talk.
They just talk
without anything behind it.
You can just, I don't know. Maybe that's true. But I kind of was like, really? I don't think so. Why do we have to tell if we're a real artist or not? And what exactly is a real artist? I think of that. You're a real artist if you make what you call art. And if that happens to be hair and it's artistic hair, then there you go. If it's really incredibly artistic sandwiches, then I'll rock on. Maybe we should just support each other. All right, so there's a cloudy bead. We're going to set that one here for a minute. Pop that in there. And then maybe I'll do one that, the other ones we used to do, these are kind of like, I kind of made faux opals, and I'll show you how I did that. This is when I couldn't buy any opals. So I would paint the beads, so you would not see any of this. This would be layers and layers of, I'm going to use this white again, because I have it. It's going to be bluish now. Sherry says, better to keep your mouth shut than open it and remove all doubt. Yeah, that's true. But I just think, if you can be supportive and make someone, if they want to make, painted wooden beads or clay beads, and they look like, they don't look great, that's okay. Because as long as you're having a good time, as long as it's fun. Now, I've done this there's like 10 million things you can do with a wooden bead. And this is just some of it. I have some iridescent flake somewhere. And it's pretty cool to use. It's like glitter, but foil. Acrylic wash. I'm a big fan of the acrylic wash. It's basically my go-to. If you ever see my painting, I'm going to make a wash because it covers the surface area, and then you don't have to have naked spots, which I don't know if I like that. All right, so I'm going to find some more acrylics in here. I got my bag. Everything I have there, it's in like Ziplocs to keep them lasting longer. So this is from, let's see, when Sam Flax was in San Francisco. So this is from Deco Art. I think they carry that at St. Michael's. But it's an interference. And that means there's tiny little pigments in there that are cut in such a way like a crystal, so that when you see it in one direction, you get blue. And if you look at it in another direction, you get like pink. Oh, decoupage. Oh my. Now we're going to get, I love decoupage. Boy, I went through a phase in high school where I decoupaged the heck out of anything that I could decoupage it was going to get decoupaged. And then when I discovered in the mid 90s, when everybody was doing this thing called, what was that? It was media transfers, like acrylic gel medium transfers, where you would take layers of gel medium and then paint it over top of like a magazine picture or like an inkjet, and then you could remove it later. You could rub off all the water and it would make like this kind of clear sheet. I never really knew what to do with them afterward, but I always thought they'd make good decoupage, kind of little what you call it. So I didn't cover all of that wood because I kind of like some of that. When you see an opal, sometimes you get yellowish parts. Oh, packing tape. Yes, the packing tape. Nilda says, hi, Cynthia and Azelle. I just subscribed. Love your live chats. Thank you so much. That's awesome. That makes me happy. I'm just chatting away, making things. I know. I'm gonna let this dry for a second and then move on to the next one while this is drying. So I'm gonna put it in here. In theory, I would have like a pipe cleaner. And you know what? I took one out just so I could do this. And now there's so much stuff on my table. I don't see where I put that pipe cleaner. We'll just lay it right here. And then we'll do another one. I'm going to show you. So this was going to be the opal. This one's practically dry. And I'm going to go and pump up the volume on the clouds there. So as you can see, as it dries, the colors kind of become more muted. So I'm going to go in here and get a little bit more white and pump them up a little bit more. And it's still a tiny bit wet, so it's still dispersing. But then that only looks like the cloud is on top of another cloud. You don't have to make it perfect. I mean, it's a cloud. So it's going to look a little wavy gravy. These look way better, too, when you add the shiny part. I think they look cool, matte finish, and almost fuzzy. Like, kind of look fuzzy when they're dry because of the wood. But if you get a good thick gloss coat, they can look like anything. I've even used them with epoxy putty on top. And epoxy putty is really good because it's lightweight and it dries super hard. Like, I don't know it's super durable. I used to try to sculpt in it, but that's like expert level to carve on that in that way. That's like those Japanese artists, when they're like, oh, here's this piece of epoxy putty that's just sitting here on my palm, and I have 20 minutes before it is completely hard. And then they make a thing that looks like an alien. So, pretty cool. Anyway, that looks pretty. It'll look even better if I go over it and glaze more colors. But just for a few minutes of splotching on some blue paint and white, that's not too bad. Ooh, do spooky ones with clouds for autumn holidays. Oh, that's a neat idea. Thank you. Let's see. Sheree says, oh, how to use washi tape. Vicky, washi tape is a mystery to me. I don't know how people use that stuff. And I've bought it several times and I don't know. I think you're supposed to use it like in a sketchbook where you don't need that, because the tape to me seems like it doesn't have much hold. So I've never seen the use of it. Like, if it's not going to hold, then why do you even call it tape? But I could see using it with, like, I've seen people, the way I've seen people use it is to tape down another piece of paper in a sketchbook. So let's see, a spooky one. Oh, well, we could do one that's like, it might be fun. Let me get some more colors. I did a similar thing a few years ago at Candy had this retreat in Tucson. Now I think that's pre-pandemic. I'm not 100% sure of the timeline, but we made some painted leather, and that was a lot of fun. It was kind of the same principle. So if you have, like, this will work on, acrylics will work. They have a product called Fabric Gack or something. I don't know the name of it. It has a really weird name. And you're supposed to use that with like a medium, and you can paint it on fabric. And I thought it worked. Let me see if I can get, I'm like sitting here I'm like mixing colors, but you guys can't see it. Hope that's, you can see this part. This works. This is how I did this. But as you can see, if you go too hog wild, it will spread if it's wet, which is what happened with that eye. But I will go back over it. I'm going to make a really pretty sunset. And this is almost dry. It's not quite still. Yeah, that's not that. It doesn't look that great. We'll ramp it up. So I'm going to start with the top. I used to make little beads that looked like globes, and that was really fun. That was really cute too. Those were for the dollhouse miniature days when I used to make those all the time. Oh, white or craft background paper, add washi, and run the card through a Gemini cut shapes if you want. Oh, that's interesting. You know, our friend Star gave us this machine, and it's a cutter of some kind. I think it's called AccuCut. Is that what it is, Azalea?
It's
That cutter thing?
the die cut.
Oh, the
something?
die cut, yeah.
I'm not sure exactly. We haven't used it yet.
It's supposed to be for fabric and paper. I would not use it for paper just because I get PTSD
Ideal
From
for
the-
quilting.
for just even if someone says fabric scissors and paper in the same sentence, it's, it's not good. Not my favorite. I saw a funny meme the other day that someone was like, they used my fabric scissors on a cardboard, so I called the police. And I thought, that seems like a pretty, justified use of the
No, I
funds.
thought the meme was something like I'm in the police station now because I did something bad.
Oh, was that it? I didn't remember.
I don't remember exactly. I thought it was I'm in prison because I
Not
killed
my
the one.
good scissors. I have one pair of good scissors. They're so good that I put them in my drawer at the very, very back so that they cannot ever be used for anything. And then there you go. So sometimes buying the most fanciest of something may not be the way. But sometimes it is, If you're cutting you're cutting a lot of fabric, maybe that's how you're going to do it. I don't know. I don't cut that much fabric anymore. Azalea is the one that's cutting the fabric all the time. Now this is still washes, and I'm just having fun with this. The water is soaking it up, and as you can see, just a drop goes pretty far, and you can keep doing this until the wood has completely soaked up enough acrylic where it's not soaking it up anymore. And then if you still want to go with more of these layers, you could always do this gesso that I have. This is how I paint my paintings. I basically do this, but on a flat surface. And then I'll let it dry, and then I go over it. It's basically a push and pull of wet and dry. Oh, Lisa says, do we have a date for a Zoom? Azalea and I were just talking about that. We're like, so how long do we have to have time for people to come? And we're like, maybe 2 weeks. And so we thought maybe a Thursday evening, a Thursday at 7 would be nice, Eastern time. I think that would put it at like 4 o'clock if you're on the West Coast. But what do you guys think of those timelines? If that sounds good. Maybe in a couple of weeks. I don't know how long it will take everyone to decide, but especially with like school starting, I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't have to be a ton of people in the Zoom. It could just be however many people, 5 or 6, who knows? I don't know how many people would show up for it. This is a super black paint. If you guys ever get the ads from Culture Hustle, this is their blackest black, the most black that's ever blacked in acrylic. And I put some in this travel container so I could have it when I was traveling. And that's it right there. And it really is super duper black. None of my black is as dark as this. And I put it in this travel thing. But the top, you know what? It had a thick part of acrylic that was gummed up. So I don't know how good that is for that purpose. But I have heard people using the little mini Nalgene's. I've used these if you have ever run out of this, and these work good when they're empty for paint. I use them for my acrylic washes, or not washes, acrylic mediums. Oh, Sheree says, I have to watch the hubby with mine. Leave the generic scissors for him. It's like hair cutting scissors. Ugh, God. I know. You don't want to ever have that problem. So I'm going to make this. I'm going to use some of this really super dark. And I think I'm going to go with a smaller brush so I can make some fine lines. And I don't know if I need it quite that dark to start. I'm going to mix it with some of this interference. Let's see what happens. I need to put my optimizers on for this step. All right, make sure I'm in the frame. Okay, I'm going to make some trees. I should do it the other way. I'm going to flip it over. So this is going to be the base. Let's see if I can get that to show up. Maybe I'll just paint it. All right, I'll do it this way. It's like, what is the best way to get a fine line? Maybe this is too big of too stout. You might have to go with another one. A liner. I need a liner. Okay, so this is not a liner, but it's, close enough. A liner is something that has a really sharp point. Ooh, a black raven would be cool on that. Yeah, let's see if I can do it. We're going to see. We're going to just see if I can do it. I'm pretty sure I can. All right. This is going to be the tree branches. That one a little thicker than I intended. What is on the end of that? There's something that's making a little dab. So you kind of have to get the hang of it when you're doing this. Like practice it a couple times. Because there's something on the end. I'll try to get a perfect point. Yeah, that looks only okay. It's still in there. Yeah, it's like a loose bristle. All right. Yeah. Maybe I'll do this. I'll go, because you can't even see it. We'll go on the bottom and go black all the way around. So it's kind of like a silhouette. And you want that to cover the bottom part, because it's kind of hard to start at the very bottom, This is a little too short if you're going to make trees. It's a little bit short. Okay, I can go this way. See how I'm holding the brush? Now, if you ever have trouble with holding something steady, you'll notice that every part of this is braced. My hand is braced, and my other hand is braced on the table, and I'm braced on this. Yeah, there we go. We're getting better lines. Yeah. If your hand is floating above it, you're not going to be able to get tight lines. That's the secret. If you're ever wondering, oh my gosh, they must have a steady hand. I don't have a steady hand. My hand is braced against my other hand so that I don't have to be steady. That's the trick. Because nobody's hand, okay, I can demonstrate it by like having my hand way up here, and you'll see the difference. But then again, I don't want to mess up my beads, so. Well, this is like tall grass. We'll have that tall grass. And then maybe this kind of bendy, spooky looking tree. Kind of pretty that way. Yeah, I could do some little birds in there too. The other day I saw some bats flying around. It was so cute. They were so small. I didn't have my glasses on, so I thought they were. I was like, oh, that's a really big butterfly. It wasn't a butterfly. Yeah, so I'm doing this upside down. You can see it this way. Yeah, I added a little bit of interference and to see what would happen. And that looks pretty good. But it's kind of fun to do faux finishes. Like we did some that looked like turquoise. The turquoise looked pretty good because it's already a flat, it's not translucent. It's harder to get something that looks transparent. That's like the real, it's kind of tricky to do. And then I was trying to make antique Roman glass. That didn't look like what I had hoped at all. You basically have to start with something translucent. So these trees are like, I guess that's kind of like a hemlock or something. Not a hemlock, a mountain laurel that doesn't have any leaves on it. Although the ones that are near our creek, it's not my creek, but I consider it, my woods, even though it's the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm all like, there's a dog off the leash. I didn't say anything, but in my mind I was saying it. There are rules for a reason, people. Because then the dogs were splashing around, and I was trying to looking for salamanders. Of course, they all went back in their holes after that.
I'm really devoted to salamanders.
Huh?
You're very devoted to those salamanders.
Yeah, I know. I like a salamander. Well, you know what? There was like they were saying this is the capital of the world. There are no other place on this earth that has as many, and I've only seen like 4 different kinds. Although some of the other ones that I looked at in the book were smaller than a dime, so I was like, how did someone even remotely know that even existed? Who knows? But it was really small. In the picture, they had a salamander sitting on a dime, and it was full size. I would not be able to see that. I don't know how I would ever. I got a pair of binoculars so I could like really look, but I didn't see anything like that. So that looks pretty good. Oh, I make it look easy. Thank you. Well, I've had a lot of experience painting. Want to turn it around? And you know what? When you go down, you get a wider. As you come down with it, it gets a little wider. That one had a little too much medium. I'll have to coat the whole thing. So let's make a little crow flying. It's going to be kind of, where's his face? Maybe that's his face. Yeah, I was trying not to breathe while I did that so I could just get it just right. But, yeah, I don't know. That's not much of a crow right there, is it? It's only okay of a crow. It could be, maybe I could do one that's like this, the one that looks like an M. Yeah, there. Yay. I'll do another one. Yeah, that one's less successful. Could be like, like a witch over here or something. Although this is, it's kind of hard to, this brush is a little bit, has something hairy at the end. Oh. Sherry says, wow, we get the mini dinosaur lizards, even some that have the super bright blue tails. There's one that lives in the garage. Greg is kind of like Radagast. And he has, like, there's, in the wintertime, there are little Carolina wrens that he lets them live in the garage. They come in at night, and you can kind of hear them cheeping if you go down there. But they make a little nest. Is on a shelf where they can come in. It's pretty sweet. They're not there during the day. They do whatever they're doing during the day, and then at night they roost. A skink. Oh, I've seen skinks here. Yeah, that looks really pretty. All right, let me see. Let's go back to this one. So this one has, it's not really showing it, but it has this interference look on it. And I'm going to go with another interference color. If I had some of those flakes, I got out the glitter the other day, and now I don't remember what I did with it. I got out the whole shebang. Our friend Hobie came over a couple days ago, and he was working on his spirit horse, and we're like, what if Here's the other kind. I just bought this. Called Dragonfly Glaze from Folk Art. Now this stuff's pretty good. It's not as, like, you can see the particle size is a little bit bigger, so it's not as smooth. It's a little more like glitter than they call it a glaze because it's in that material. Let's see. It's that same. It's a similar color. It's a little bit more blue than the other one. But I'm going to get, where did I put the brush? Oh, here it is. I'm going to put a little bit of this white and yellow on there and see what happens. It's kind of an experiment. I don't know. Do I like that? Maybe I'll wipe it off. But if you don't like it, it's easy enough to fix it. I say fix it. We'll see. This one is kind of like, I bought this wine with my friend Eva. She was picking out stuff, and it had a pebble on it that was kind of like this. It looked like this. That's how we chose it. And she was like, no, this is not that great of a wine. I'm like, see, sometimes you buy the label and it isn't what you think it's going to be. So while this is wet, I'm going to put in a couple of other colors just to see, just to blend them in there. Why not, right? It'll be pretty. Like that colorway anyhow. Maybe punch it up with some pink. I have been so into pink
Me too.
lately. You know, we were like, where can we get a bead that is exactly the color of Dunkin' Donuts pink drink that they
You have to make
It's
it
like,
out of resin. That's the only way.
well, maybe. I don't know. It's like, I don't even know if I can mix that color. It's almost like a Padparacha sapphire. It's that orangey pink. It's really juicy. And I was like, if there's a way to get that. Azalea says, only way is with resin.
Because it's see-through.
Yeah, true. Ooh, I love those watercolor looks when it goes kind of murky like that. I think it looks pretty. All right. It's looking pretty good, pretty good. I like the pink better than I do the yellow. But I'm mixing on the actual bead. And I think it's kind of fun. It is fun. What am I saying? I don't think it's fun. It is fun. But I could see if you had to make a bunch of them, then you would be like, I don't know how fun that is. But if you're wondering, some folks would say, would this lower? I've heard people say this. If it's not gemstone, you're mixing it up. I don't think it matters, as so much with the material. There's a whole movement now where people are making things out of random non-jewelry, or not what we would traditionally call jewelry. So that, I'm looking on the screen as I'm doing it, and it kind of looks ugly. But I think, we'll let this sit a minute, we'll just let that sit a minute and we'll come back to it. We're not hooked on that thing. I'm going to go return to this and try and fix up the face on that. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of this white over here. Could go, some of these little salamanders are kind of a weird orangey brown color. They really blend in. Sometimes I'll be looking right at them, and the only way I see it is because I'll see their little eyes poking up. It's pretty cute. So I'm going to try and get that, match that color and go around its eye so it's not so scary. I think it looks really scary like that because, number one, they don't look like that. So I'm going to fix it. Make its eye like a little bit more normal size instead of that great big black hole of an eye. Yeah, already that looks better. Although, you could put a lot of time in making these, and then if it's just for yourself, then that's pretty good. But you probably couldn't do that for anything for sale. Isn't it funny how you just add that little bit of white and it just totally makes it look like it's awake? Looking cute. This white, I can go over it with another color. And right now I'm just making it look like the little highlighted areas. Kind of give it a little more 3D effect. You can make a lot of things look 3D just by adding the highlight. If you have a strong enough shadow. See, because everything's kind of that mid-range color. And once you add the highlight, it kind of makes the whole thing sort of look more dimensional. And that's what's good about a wash, because you can get a base level of color in that sort of medium tone. So it looks a little more 3D. It is a little happy. They do look like they're smiling. Oh, Ronnie. She says, late to the show, type of paint, watercolor. This first one was watercolor. And then I went on top of it with acrylic. It's an acrylic wash. I have a few different kinds of materials like matte mediums, but this one's not matte. I have Dragonfly Glaze, and I have a couple other ones that are pretty good. The bonus is this surface is kind of sealed, and you could do a floral background. It's kind of washy right now, and that I would think is a good opportunity to do like a pattern if you wanted to. I've seen some really pretty hand painted ojime. There was a collection at, what's the name of that? Not at the Huntington. Oh, the LACMA. There was a really good collection of ojime, and there were a few hand painted wooden ones. Apparently, they have a huge collection and only have out like a fourth of it ever at one time, so that you never see the whole collection. And it was on a thing where they rotated it out so that some would be out and then others would be put away for a while. And they had some really beautiful painted wood ojime, and I just loved them. I took a lot of pictures of them when I lived in LA. It was like the best part of living there, was going to the LACMA and checking out their ojime collection. That looks a little more 3D, I think. So if you get too many lights, like I did around the face, all you have to do is hit it back again with some medium tones to get the shadows. And I think that would be like kind of this brownish, reddish color. Oh, thank you. Lisa says he's adorable. Yeah, he's pretty cute. I think they have a sweet expression. And now what I'm doing is I'm adding back some of the shadows that I previously covered up with some of those lights. And it must be a little bit wet still, so it's soaking up some of that color. You see how it's soaked in? Which is actually a happy accident. I was glad that happened. It was kind of knocked it down a little bit so it wasn't too bright. It's a good shadow color. And then you can always go back in if you want it to look more slick. Go in and put these highlights of white in different spots, and it'll look like white is shining on it, or not white, but like it's really glossy. I saw a mushroom the other day that looked like it was made out of glass. It was kind of hard to take a picture of it. It was purple and glassy. Oh, so that is coming along, and this part did not have very much paint at all, so I'm going to go in and seal that spot a little. Fix it up. There it is. Looking pretty cute. You know, I saw one that was like, I think it's called a newt, an Eastern newt, because it was bright orange. It was really adorable. I'm kind of tempted to make this one really orange. But if I wanted to do more of the foliage back here, one way I could do that is punch up the darks with washes of like this black with a little bit of blue or brown. And that will make it look even more like it's dimensional. Oh, thank you, Marianne. She says it looks so real. Oh, the wooden beads. They're so fun, and there's a lot of things you can do with them. Azalea used to use the wooden beads as heads for her string dolls. Do you guys, or anybody in there that remembers Azalea's string doll or string doll days? Those were really cute.
I might come back to it.
Yeah, they're adorable. So that was a heavy shadow, but you know, you can easily blend it with a wet brush. See, it blends right in. The wet just goes in and blends it for you. And you could even make patterns with it that kind of indicate a floral look, because it kind of, see how you can get, you know, you can get pretty detailed. Right now I'm just sort of isolating and making the salamander look as dimensional as possible. And you can do that by having these darks in a kind of a pattern under it. So it's like the shadow. It's getting there. Yeah, it looks a lot better than it did. And again, if you put another, like if you put resin on it, it won't look like a wooden bead as much anymore because it'll be completely covered. Now, if you can still see the pattern like this, we'll give it away that it's a wooden bead, but it's easy to make kind of a, you know, they call that trompe l'oeil when you're making something that's like really realistic of another material, or that faux wood. It's kind of the same thing. You're making it from another material. Yeah, looking better. Oh, Azalea, that would be a good demo. Yeah, you know, you used to make those dolls, those little string dolls. They were really cute back in the day. You haven't made those in quite a few years. I'm going to give it a little bit of some lifelike color along the bottom, so it looks kind of, get that coloring in there so it's not quite so peachy. It looks a little more realistic. Oh, Kim says I use wood beads for my mini felt dolls' faces. They are so fun to paint. That's what Azalea did with hers. She would make little tiny dolls out of pipe cleaner and wood, and they were really cute. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yesterday or the day before, I saw a crawdad that was like a really electric blue, and I was so surprised. I thought they were only like the translucent color here. I didn't know that they came in a blue. It made me think of that rare blue lobster that you see pictures. All right, that one looks good. I'm going to set that one down for a second. And where's this one? I have that one. You know, sometimes you just don't know how it's going to look. So I'm going to coat the whole thing in this glaze, and we'll see what it looks like. The other glaze was a little bit better because the particles were finer. This one is a little more like you're putting glitter on it. So maybe if I do 2 layers, it will look not so cheesy. But as it is, it's a little cheesy. It doesn't have the feeling exactly of what I'm going for. But, you know, I think maybe a lot of layers, or like a really thick layer of UV resin would be nice. Because it kind of looks a little lumpy. I mean, the shape of it is not perfect as it is. It's not a perfect circle or, I mean, a sphere. But, and I was making a lot of brush strokes, so it still looks good, I think. It'll look better when it dries and I can kind of cover it up. Glossy accents. Oh, Lorraine says, I wish we could see one of your string dolls, Azalea. You know, I might have one on my desk. She went through a phase where she made some that had heads that were sculpted.
This is my old work.
Oh,
This is like
how old were you when you made this one?
probably 11.
Okay,
Or
so here you
maybe
guys
12.
go. Here's Azalea's early work, age 11.
Correct.
It's so cute. She did the little thing. And this is from, you got the directions for the original designs from Sally Maver's We Felt Folk, I think it was called, wasn't it? So
Yep.
if you want to make some, We Felt Folk from Sally Maver. She has full directions, and I think she has a couple of books now and some really cute ideas for making sheep. They're really adorable. So her later ones had full clothes and a sculpted head out of polymer. All right, so this is almost dry. You can see it's getting, looks pretty cute. And now let's look at this one dry. Okay, that came out pretty nice. It could even have a moon in there, you know, like a foiled moon. This one has, I used more of a watercolor technique, and it looks pretty good, very watery. And then this one came out pretty nice, not bad. They look better with a better glaze, I think. You know what I mean, as far as glazes go. This one is a little Rastafarian. I was trying to get a rainbow, but instead it's more, you know, Bob Marley style. Marianne says, my daughter has beautiful blue salamanders running around her yard. I think she needs to take a video of that, and you need to post it, Marianne. That would be really cool. I want to see that. I mean, I've seen pictures of those blue salamanders, and I was so enamored with them, I pretty much couldn't stop painting them. Oh, Kim says, that's the book I read. Lots of fun ideas. Azalea, I love your doll.
Thank you.
Paula says, what is the collection you mentioned at the LACMA? It is the Ojime collection. Now, I don't know. It's been several years since I saw that, but when I lived there, they used to switch it out. And they had this whole room that had their Ojime and Inro collection, and that is spelled Ojime, Ojime. And Inro is just how it sounds, Inro. And they were like pouches and things, sculptural pockets to put coins and herbs and money in, because kimonos, as you guys know, don't have pockets. So that's why you would use that. Now, one other thing that's kind of cool about this is, say you're like really fiddly, or you're playing with Zentangle or something, you could go in and draw on it too, and like add little, let me see if I can, this is a mechanical pencil, and you could go in beforehand and like with a mark or with a sharp pencil, if you wanted to, like really make your little extra, clean up your lines. See, some of them are kind of not that good around the edge, kind of feathered. Clean it up around there, make a little nostril. That's, you know, that's just being extra. But we did take some of these, like if you're doing, we know that some of you out there do Zentangle. If you have a painted bead, can you pass me one of those Sharpies, one of those metallic Sharpies? Something that would match this, Azalea? What do you think would be a good match for that?
Gold.
Gold, she says, gold. All right, I got a gold one right here.
We should do the sale soon.
Okay, I'll just wrap this up. Okay, so here's another thing. Yeah, like an amulet pocket, Shuri. Oh, she lives in Greensboro. You know what? Ojime, yes. Thank you for spelling that. All right, this is a Sharpie in gold. Okay, this is drying. And if you want, you can go over these. I'm going to try not to do my normal patterning, which is like dots. So So maybe I can do something a little bit different. So I've seen that Zentangle stuff where people are like, oh, we'll make a design. You could do it where you're making rounds. I don't know if this is as metallic as that isn't really as metallic as at all. I don't think. Maybe it's my eyes. Maybe it needs to be shaken. I'm going to shake this Sharpie. Didn't do anything. Let's see if it did. Maybe if you look under certain light, it's metallic. Maybe you go over it and it's metallic. But, yeah, that doesn't look good. Let me find another one. That was like the weakest Sharpie ever. Let's see. Maybe silver will work better. Go over some of these lines. This one's kind of flat. It works better, but something happened with that tip. It's kind of chewed up. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. Yeah, it's better than it was in that weird dark brown. But if this was not like totally chewed up, you could make, oh, I was out of the frame even. Okay. I'm sorry, Carla. She says she has a migraine. She says, if I turn my head just right, I can make the flashing lights from my migraine look like they're coming off of your beads. That's called looking for the silver lining right there. That's definitely silver lining. Yeah, this one's way more metallic. That gold was fresh, and it did not have a lot of metallic glow to it. Anyway, I'm just doodling on this one. And it's pretty fun. So if you have better markers, you could easily make pretty cool beads. It's like an eye bead right here. It's kind of neat. I wonder what it would look like with the gloss on it. The thick gloss is pretty cool because it's like really thick, almost like sap. You can make it as thick as you want, and you can keep adding layers. Although it's best to do layers of that UV in really thin layers. Anyway, this is what you can do with a Sharpie, a metallic Sharpie. You can get kind of an interesting. It looks better. I think that silver looks pretty good over top. That's the best side, I think. That side, not so much. Yeah. Or, those little bitty markers. I don't have any here. I had some microns, but I don't see any at hand. But you could go over it. And if you didn't like it, remember there's always that gesso. This is my favorite stuff right here. I use this stuff on every one of the paintings. Joe's, it's from Cheap Joe's. And it's clear. It's clear gesso. It's so good. So awesome. Did I just see that our friend Anne Gardan is joining us? Love it when Anne is with us. Makes me think of our time in Tucson. Okay, so this looks not great, but you know what it kind of looks like? One of those. Did you guys ever see those fiber optic beads? I bet if I put way more layers, it would be even more so, and maybe even do something about that hole so you can't see it. But you would not know. If you saw that on a necklace. Oh, let me show you. All right, I think this for now, we have plenty of inspiration. If you would like to do washes on some wooden beads, we saw that a thin acrylic wash is the way to go. You can let it dry between, or you can go wet on wet, the same with acrylic, and get really pretty cloud beads. And we did the same here with a sunset and dark acrylic trees on the background and one teeny little crow or raven. So it looks good. All right, I'm going to clean this up. Not much to clean up. This is a fun little project. We did this many. Okay. Oh, Sherry says you could do spooky and add glow in the dark. I do love glow in the dark. Zoe Love. Hello, my friend. Happy Sunday to you. Love that. I'm putting all this paint away. I keep mine, I don't know about y'all, but I keep it in Ziploc bags, and it will stay good for forever if you keep it closed. I've had paint, nice paint, get dried out because I just left them on my shelf, and they ended up, of course I cap them, but it's best to keep them in another container. Even one of those Rubbermaid containers would be better. So here's a necklace I made, you guys. Let's pull out of, what do you call it? Camel. I'm going to try to get out of this big zoom. Because I'm at like 200%. I'm going to back out for a second. So this is a necklace I made, and I have a kit that is similar to this, but not the same. Let's see if I can get it all the way in the shot. So this one has a silver clasp, that new turkey tail. A lot of variety in here. Some of this is antique crystal that they carved melon cut. Lepidolite, amber, spiny oyster shell. I love that stuff. It's this is not my usual palette, but this was the starting point, these beads here. And so I thought they looked really good. Let me zoom in and show you guys how cool. Aren't those neat? This is called orbicular jasper. And if you've ever seen it, I have some on where is it? Oh, I don't see it. But you probably seen it. It looks like grape agate, those little lumps and bulges. When they are polished flat, they make that pattern. It's kind of like how fossilized coral makes those neat star patterns. That's the same here. And then this is some kind of jasper cut. It's like pipestone almost, like that Minnesota pipestone, but a lighter color. Here it's kind of that shade. You can really see it. I'm going to look in here. Oh. Lisa, she says, do you knot with waxed linen? I have, Lisa, but I do not use waxed linen when I'm doing this. I use, let's see, here go. This is some of it. This is Ceylon or Eslon. I think that it's the same thing. I mean, I bought it and they had the same name. These little things, Kate turned me on to this. They're pieces of silicone, and see how my whole thing was full of threads like this. And so every time I would get started, I'd have to rewind them onto the bobbin unless I did this and keep all of them like this. And so even I ran out of those little things, but this is how I keep them in this container so that they're not, going totally crazy. And that's my travel one. But this thing here is so good for keeping you keep your thread from going wild. You wrap it up, and it's kind of like those things for yarn where it looks like the fruit. Oh, it's always like time. Cherie, I got these on Amazon, and they came in like a pack of like anywhere from 10 to 50 of them. Yeah, Amazon, that's where I got them. And they work well. All right. So anyway, that's my necklace that I wanted to show you guys that I made. And I made this one too. This one I made a perfect rainbow.
Maybe you can show those in full detail when they're ready to sell.
Oh, full detail. She's like, listen.
Show and tell right now.
Show and tell, fast show and tell. Okay.
That's not a fast show and tell.
That's a fast show and tell.
An hour.
Sorry.
There's no such thing as a short live right here. We're going to go.
I know, you guys. Thank you for sticking with us. I always intend. I was like, well, painting wood, that's a fast thing.
Oh, what happened here? Okay.
All right.
Okay, we're still showing stuff. Okay, you guys get ready. Live sale time.
Live sale.
All right. You can pick anything in here and start with it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, where's that one? Oh, I'm wearing it.
No more necklace talk. Get the frick frack chicken snacking beads out.
All right. I'm doing
Start
it.
with
I'm
this
doing it.
since it's taken you all year long.
Don't bully your mother.
Hey guys, we're starting with off some silver stuff. These are these little mermaids that we made a little while ago, and you can see that we're not in the lot 500. This is lot 288, and this is from like some of our early days because we started at lot 20, and this was only like maybe our 4th live or so, maybe probably a couple months in. But there's
Oh yes, I love this
there are
mermaid.
6 of these silver little mermaids, and they have a pink tint to them. Let's zoom in on that.
Oh, okay.
Let's put this somewhere else here. In the way. Okay. You guys were gonna zoom in and see how good it looks.
Mm-hmm. So this is a patina that is kind of labor intensive, so I don't do that often, and I can't always get it. And you get it by, it's a kind of a complicated way to do it. There has to be it's like fuming, if that makes any sense. If you've ever seen how silver is done with fuming. So this is done with copper. So it's essentially a copper fumed silver. And we usually carry these in pewter, but in silver, they are a tiny little, it's such a good make a good earring, especially for an asymmetrical or on a really cool necklace. If you wanted to do I make these necklaces with, crochet necklace. You could easily do that. Where's that one? I can show that with it. Anyway, how many do we have?
We have
6.
We have 5 now.
Oh,
Because
5.
of Marianne Dalton. Did you only want one, Marianne? Because you commented 288 and then you commented 288 sold.
Oh,
so
maybe
let us know if
one
you want
or
1
2.
or 2.
Probably just 1, maybe 2. I don't know. So look at this with this. This is a silver, and it's beads. But you can see if that the tag wasn't there, how that goes. Just like this. You could do a jump ring on there, easy. Or, you know what else is good? On a charm bracelet. It's so perfect for a charm bracelet. Or not even a charm bracelet. When you have one of those types that's like one of those, not a mala bracelet. What is it called when it's just a round? When it's just round, stretchy round. I have been putting small charms onto a stretchy bracelet, and then that's it. That's like the whole neck, the whole bracelet. And then you can charge more if you have silver on it. So that is lot 288, and
we only have 2 left.
2 left. So that is that mermaid. Okay. I have a couple of these. There's 3. This is a little snake charm. Originally, I made this so that it could function as an earring. That's what I made that for. So this one is supposed to be like an earring. And originally, I thought it could be used as like a, how do you call it? Like a lariat piece. But, I like it just like that as an earring. And it works as an earring. And I've made many earrings with it. This one I do as an asymmetrical because sometimes, you don't want to be too matchy-matchy. And my friend Diane, she is the queen of an asymmetrical necklace or asymmetrical earring. And she would have put this.
We only have 1 left of these.
Right.
There were 2.
Oh, good. I have this pearl, this great big pearl. And it looks so good. I was going to make, and I only have 1. So it's good for that. If you're going to do an asymmetrical, you could match it with either more silver or match the size. So like on the other side, I don't know if that would work, but you know what I mean? I had some that were on a little bit of chain and it seemed to work for that particular piece. Although I would say like this, I like that better. And maybe a spray, maybe a piece of silver at the bottom. I don't know. Anyway, maybe later.
All right.
I sell a lot of earrings when I'm
hi,
doing.
Clem.
Oh, our friend Clem. Yes, exactly. Better late than never. Yeah, I agree. Charm bracelet.
This is that Hill Tribe silver, isn't it? That one that you said they cut it into strips.
So this is done the same way that you would make a paper bead, but it is soldered into place. And if you've never made them, they're super easy to do. And
They're
what
real
you would
satisfying.
do is you would cut a long triangle with paper or with silver. So this is done with silver sheet. And you can see that the width of it is about the width of the sheet would have been like that wide, and you would just roll it. You just roll it into place.
Sold to Cindy. Thank you, Cindy.
Pretty good amount. And you get this. This is from Thailand. They have Karen Hill Tribe makes those. It's getting harder and harder to find stuff like that anymore because our friend that is the source was saying a lot of the young people are moving away from those tribes.
This one is
less
heavy
and less.
duty. These are silver nuggets, and they're thick.
Yeah, that's
heavy.
Basically the big ones off the strand. And I don't know how to describe how heavy. It's pretty heavy.
We could describe it with a scale.
Yeah, you can show it with a scale. Describe it with a scale, but we don't have to show it with a scale.
All right. We've got to put them back in the frame and put the tag right. So if anybody is interested in the giant silver nubs.
Yeah, this is not sterling, it's fine silver, which is why it's a little more. It's the way they make this is they take silver, they heat it up till it's molten, and then you drop it into a thing of cold water. And then after that, you drill each one. So they're not like, to get the big size, you don't often get the big size. Most of the time it's really small.
We should put something in there for size comparison so people can see how big it is. Like
maybe my palm.
Yeah, your palm, I guess. But they're chunky. I like them.
I
would keep them myself. All right. You want to move on?
Yeah, I love them.
All right. This is another silver thing that we had that were popular for a little while. And that is the only one we got left.
This is the last one.
That's a good length, too.
It's a good length. It's a 16-inch length.
Isn't that sterling?
It is sterling.
A sterling silver paper clip chain.
It's a paper clip chain.
Put the tag in there. Lot 255.
You could break it up, but I would just wear it. I would not break that up.
Oh, Cherie says, how about a dime or a penny? Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a little less. That's a little more universal than Mom's palm.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a 16-inch. If you've got a thin neck, I like this as it's not quite a choker, but maybe I'll back out a little bit so we can see it. What I did, I had some brass ones, and the brass, I ended up wire wrapping little things on them, like a little sparkling bead is what I did. And I did 4 on each one.
Here's a quarter.
So it was like super shaky. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like that musical instrument with all those little nuts. So yeah, you can hang a charm on every link. What I did was I hung a bunch. I did 3 or 4 of them, but they've all since sold. And what I did was I did head pins on each one, and I did 4 on the last one I did, and it was like a rainbow. So the whole thing was like kind of like a caterpillar. It was really fuzzy. It was really pretty. Anyway, I loved it. I have a couple of bronze or brass ones. If
we got to pause for a second. Marianne, you commented 269 sold, and I don't know if you meant 255, which I wrote you down for, or if you meant 268, which was the Silver Hill Tribe drop. So let us know in the comments which number you meant, because we didn't show a 269, I don't think. No, we did not show a 269, but we showed the 268, which was this. There's a quarter comparison. Very nice. All right, now we can move on.
All right.
Take a quick pause. All right, so we have these two. Let's stay in silver for a minute and show this.
How many of those do we have? We have 3?
Or
no? Oh,
that's just the
old tag. All right, I have one little mandrake, and this one, I had these on my Etsy shop for a long time, and I always cast them in bronze because I thought they looked cutest in bronze. And I made a handful in silver. So this one, hangs from the back. See where this is hanging onto?
All right.
Oh, what's it? I tried making my own for a piece in your book, but they're very thin. What is what? Oh, meant the chain. I meant the chain. Okay, she said I tried making my own. Well, paperclip chain can be hard unless you have a jump ringer. If you have a jump ringer, then it's not too hard.
All right. Thank you, Renee, for
Adopting the little silver mandrake. Pretty cute. Okay, I have one. Is this only one?
one silver octopus clasp. You
Okay.
could untie them if you want to link them together, but I didn't want them to get separated.
So anyway, that's this is a pretty. We sometimes sell this in bronze and Shibuichi. Silver, it's a little heavy. I would say that this one, if you're going to make something really fancy with like a big pearl necklace, I would put this where you could see this clasp because it's designed to be seen.
Oh, to Teresa, thank you,
I
Teresa.
have several holes that are on the sides that I designed these so that when it's put together like this, you could actually hang things from it. See these, all these little holes? So it goes like that. And that's what it looks like on the bottom. It's a nice, heavy, really nice clasp.
And it's silver.
And
All right, that one's the last bit of silver. We've got one of those.
so this is again that pink wash where it's fumed with copper, and we polish off the top to get the silver to show. And this one says, "The best hearts are ever the bravest." It's probably one of our best-selling charms in our collection. It's one of the oldest ones. I actually carved this. I remember after I carved it. It was right after 9/11.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Well, I remembered it because that was like my, what do you know, when you're like processing, I was processing, and that was the quote. That's just what I made. So anyway.
Oh, it's gone to Kathleen. Thank you, Kathleen.
All
Now
right.
you can just pick whatever.
All right. So now we have a handful. We don't have a ton of these because I bring them with me to the shows, and these do not last long. So a friend of mine, they're all 36. You could just,
Not all of them.
oh, not all of them.
Some
Okay.
of them are different. Some of them are bigger.
So these are really neat. I am
Yeah,
pretty.
you have to put them. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
well,
wait,
let's
wait.
zoom out a little bit. So
Okay,
people
let's
can see.
back
No,
out.
don't back out. We'll zoom out. Okay, there we go.
Nice.
A little better. Scoot all of that up. We'll put this one up in the corner, like here. Put that one. Yeah.
So these are made. There's a family of glass makers outside of Taxco in Mexico, and they've been making the same stuff for like,
This one's gone.
I don't
Thank
even
you,
know
Cindy.
how many years. But they're originally made for icons. So when you've seen these hand carved wooden icons, oh, is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
I keep
that's why
taking
I
it
just
out.
Took it.
Oh, I thought there was another one over there. I love this blue. And so the different colors are for the different icons, and the different shapes are ones that are like pretty large, and then the small ones were for really small, like doll eyes or something. So let me see if I can get that. So they're all a little bit different because they're handmade. And
This one is not even in the frame. We'll just wait to put that in.
okay.
Here, you do that.
So this one's for like this kind, or the angels. You can kind of tell that one. These are for like the saints. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jesus would have gotten that blue eye. And the other one, I
almost
think
purple.
Mary would have had the dark brown. And we, at one point, I had a picture that I had taken of different ones showing the different eyes, but that booklet is long. I mean, that's 20
This
years
one's
ago.
gone.
Yeah, so these are all unique. Each one, they might be similar in color, but you know they're all a little bit different. And they're set in bronze. I mean brass, which is a similar material.
Move this one up.
You want to put this one? As,
Yeah, put that one up. These are the last of them. We only had 6 this time.
so yeah,
There you
this is a
go.
good one. Yeah, those. You know, the green ones when we're at the show are the ones that go the most. But you know, one of the times people will buy. I say one of the times, but we were like at the last big crafty. Azalea and I were like, this guy's got his game down. He compared the eye to the partner he was with, and it was like their third date. And he's like, I just want to remember this. And Azalea and I looked at each other, and we were like, what? His game is strong.
Riz.
I know.
All right.
All right, that's pretty cool. I know Vicky says it would be cool to have a necklace with all of them. Now you're speaking my language. I have a necklace, Vicky, with like 10 of them, but they're all in like a cluster. I have them on a charm thing, and they're on that. But then they have, my necklace has like a bunch of charms on it.
Them out. Thank you guys. Oh, and then Mary got 518 at the last second, just as we're putting it away. Thank you, Mary.
I know, I love them. I have a problem with keeping them.
Go with these next. Both of them.
Okay, so I have a couple of these. These are hand carved.
They're the same size, but they have different carvings. This one reminds me, this one has a bunch of swirls. We'll zoom in on these. And like one of them has swirls like an octopus, it reminds me of, and the other one has like, those kind of look like Norse runes on the other one.
So this, I actually know, amber is a tricky thing to buy. I don't like to buy amber unless I can look into the person's face and I can, be like, is this legit? Because a lot of times you can get resin that is supposedly amber. And these folks were from like the Ukraine or somewhere. And they were telling me the process of how a lot of this is found. So they still have people that go around the Bering Sea fishing amber off of the waves.
Whoa.
And yeah, I mean, it's not like a big business, obviously, because there's not that much of it anymore of like that kind of quality. But they still have people that their business is finding amber, and it floats on the sea, on the Bering Sea. And it doesn't look like this. It looks like, I found a big chunk of it. It actually looks like, if you didn't know what you were looking at, it would look like just driftwood or something. But the outside is like a dark brown, and it looks really ugly. And once it's carved, though, that's when you see that beautiful interior, and it floats. And that's and it's pretty soft. But it just amazes me that this was tree sap from 5 million years ago. This was once on a living thing. Now it's a bead.
This thing's the worst.
I know, Azalea keeps hitting that part. We're going to just do this.
Yeah, we'll put it under this shelf. Sorry, guys, the light keeps cutting out.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 different cords under here.
513 is gone, but 514 is still available. Anybody watching the replay, if you want that cool one. Oh, just as I say it, Marianne. Thank you, Marianne. Right, done right now.
Yeah, they're really beautiful.
Right, let's go and show these. We have 2 of this. We'll show them all both at the same time to show that they're both the same. All right, these are faceted. What are that? Ruby.
That's ruby.
In there. They're like, I love how we've had these before in smaller bites. But these are.
Well, this is a really juicy type. Azalea priced that really reasonable, because they are delightful. I was looking on this necklace. I thought I used it on this one. Maybe I used it on another one. Oh, here we go. So resin does not float unless you get a kind of resin that is designed to float. And that designed to float resin that I know what you're talking about.
Thank you, guys.
Is white, so it doesn't look like that, the type of resin. So this is how I used that piece. This light is a little dark, and you can't really see how juicy these are, but in the light, you can see that it looks really dark in this lighting, but they're really plummy.
Yeah, they're very juicy.
They are really juicy. Okay, so this is the big one. So how you get a big strand? So this is some star ruby. Azalea's like, okay, I'll share it. This is a star ruby, and it's double-sided. This was originally done and cut to be a cab. So you can see it's tabled slightly, ever so slightly has a table. I would put this one in something that if you're a wire wrap artist, this is perfect because it has a hole and you could go crazy and it would be anchored and you wouldn't have to worry about putting a bezel on it. So you could actually utilize both sides. And that's natural ruby. And when it has that shine like that, they call that a star. So it's in the same family, you guys know. Sapphires, rubies,
can zoom
and
it in.
emeralds are the same
Here, let me do it.
stone.
No, don't make the phone. We got
Okay.
camo for a reason. Mother
Try
dearest.
to do it then.
Just let me do it. All right. Oh, do we have a stabilizer on right now? We should have a stabilizer, otherwise it's not going to be. Let's see how good that looks. You can. It's only
still
slightly.
looks dark. Yeah.
My fingers look so dingy. Oh my god. Ew.
Ooh, David, I've been watching Schitt's Creek again, and everything is that way.
Oh, thank you, Marianne. That's gone.
Yeah, I want to see what you do with it because I have been hoarding those like it's my life's work.
Yeah,
I
post
mean,
it in the group.
The strand only had like 5 of them on there anyway, and I've used like 1, and then the rest I've been hoarding like crazy.
All right, here's some. This is the last of our tiny emeralds. This is the smaller strand of some of the small bits, and here are the ones
Medium
that are a little
size.
bit bigger.
I think they're more like
yes,
3 mil and 4.
Yeah, lots 515 and 516 for bigger and smaller.
I love Schitt's Creek. It's one of my favorite. Like, it puts me in a good mood. You know, it definitely puts me in a. Oh, she's going in with the daylight bulbs.
All right.
Let's see if I can hold it up and show it.
Thank you, Cindy.
You can. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. Can you guys see that? That's actual emerald. I don't know if you've seen emerald lately, but I never see emerald.
All right, 516 is gone. That's this
I
one.
think both of them are gone.
Oh, and 515 is gone too. Thank you,
Yes.
Kathleen.
No. So she got that. See, look.
That's 5. Those are 2 of the same number.
Oh,
You see how that's 516 and 516 twice in a row? We only
Yeah.
have 1 of 516.
shoot.
So Kathleen gets 515.
All right.
All right, and that is the last of the evening.
No.
Yes? What do you mean? Oh. Well, the second to last of the
Second to
evening.
last.
It's the last of the normal lots.
Oh. All right. So we have this really good A grade quality.
One is a little bigger. That's why they're different price.
They're weighed out. So these are.
Here, let's actually show one at a
Rainbow.
time since they're big.
Mhm,
All right. We'll put the tag in
the middle.
middle of this.
Well, maybe someone might want to decide if they want the bigger one or not.
So this one is the smaller one. This one is like more medium size.
Mhm.
That's lot 387 for 48. And then this one we can scoot in the frame here. This one's a little bigger. You can see it's got bigger beads and it's more. See
Yeah,
the
there's a
comparison?
little bit more.
There you go. That's perfect. Then they're both in the frame.
Right. So this is a good quality rainbow moonstone, Andelaria.
Yeah, you can even the
Andelaria.
sparkle shows up on camera.
Yeah, these are like. And the best part is these do not have really super small holes. These have like a normal size. Like this is like
Oh,
a
June.
fine
Thank you, June.
weight of soft flux, but it's not. They're not like they're loose on there. One of the tricks that my friend Laura was
The
showing
big
me
one is gone
to
too.
show how to get if something's drilled well is you put your thumbs like this when you're picking stones, pull like that, and then if they go like this and they line up, that will tell you if you've got some well drilled stones. And these have not, they're well drilled and the color is great. So sometimes when you're looking, one of the benefits is I've been in this business for like 25 years. So I don't want to say that my friends will hold back some of the better stuff for me. If they know, they'll call me and be like, are you going to be XYZ or wherever in Tucson? And I'll be like, yes. And they're like, okay, well, I have some stuff for you. And I work with these cutters and they will cut stuff for me exactly how I want them. And if I bring them some rough, they'll cut it for me. Not always, but especially they won't cut it if it's that ruby I tried to have done once. But some of the softer, this is like a size or a Mohs hardness of 7. pretty soft-ish. It's like labradorite. I can get that nice hard sparkle. Actually, it's a more of a softer sparkle in this. It's a Mohs hardness of 7. All right, now for what I've been working on all day. I have a kit, you guys, and okay, what Carlos says, I was talking about 1881 a week or two ago. Not uplifting. So sad. I don't know how the West was ever settled. I don't know either. Sometimes it's disturbing. All right, so this is a kit that we put together over the past week or so. And this one will come with 2. Can you back out, Azalea?
Yeah. Oh, this, by the way, is not going to be on the website. We have 10 of this kit.
Only.
It's new, only 10, with the lot, I believe, 523. We can
Here,
write it
write it down
on a
over
card.
here.
I don't have anything.
Oh. Will get me a piece of, like we did with those one time when we did the calves.
Yep.
Here, pass me. Oh, there's some over there.
What? Hi, honey. That's my cat son crying. All right.
Okay, write it down. Azalea's working on the facts. So this comes with 2 charms. One big of that jasper. It's like this.
Where do I put this?
So this is not like all of it is gemstone. The only one that is not, that I am questioning if gemstone, is this, and I believe this is crystal. And this has been in my collection for like 20 years, so I'm not sure exactly where this crystal is from. I don't know the facts on that because I've had it for like forever. So this is Amazonite. We have picture jasper. We have orbicular jasper, agate. We have, it's like name that thing. Pink rose quartz. There is, what's that one? It's like I have to name it. Azalea, what's the name of this one? That kind of agate.
I don't know, but we've sold 5 of them.
All right.
There's 5 left.
Horses
friends.
and slaves did a lot of the work. Oh, yes, for the West.
Gotta move that out of the way. Lot 523 for 60. Oh yeah, horses and slaves did a lot of the work. You guys are talking about that show 1883 or 1881 or
So
whatever.
this is on here
And I
too.
follow one of those actors.
Oh,
on Instagram.
yes,
I don't even know.
Botswana. That's Botswana. Oh, and then it's coming to me. Oh yeah, Minnesota pipestone. That's the other one. So here's some of that. I made this necklace with a lot of the pieces in here, although this is not. I thought that the blue looked better than the purple. But anyway, this kit comes with this and this. So this has never been on my website or on my Etsy. I don't know why. I just, sometimes you just forget about things. So this comes with 2 charms, 2, and all of these beads. So you can definitely get easily, like I didn't even use, I used half of that kit and had plenty to make another necklace. So there's only 10. And if there's any left, we'll put it on the website. So yeah, anyway, you get a lot. Oh, and you know what you can't even see in here? You can't even see it. But let me see if I can get it in focus. There's little teeny, look at this.
We have sold 8.
These are tiny
9.
little there's such good itty bitty tiny smoky quartz. Smoky quartz in there. Yeah, it took me forever to count out all this stuff. But yeah, we have blue lace in there. There's this one, I can't remember the name of the type. Moss agate, red Minnesota pipestone,
And they're gone.
All right, so that's the last of them. Thank you guys. This one will be included in our contest that's coming up. We're making all the details now. I'm still figuring out. I have to cast the prizes, so I'm making 3, and I will show those where they're in the molds right now, so you can't see them. But this will be included if you want to use this kit. I love it. These kind of weird. Azalea called it post-apocalyptic, I think, because of the grays and the blues. But anyway, this will come. I'm going to spray paint some tins to put those in, and we'll ship those out. Give me like, a week or so. Sometimes it takes me a minute to count everything up. But anyway, that's coming to you, and that unique. So I'm happy.
Cherie says, I'm not sure I would have made it on the Oregon Trail. We drove part of it, and it's kind of treacherous by car over the mountains. Can't imagine a wagon.
No
I remember
way.
when I was in like 5th grade, they made us play the Oregon Trail video game at school, and I could not make it past. Like I would leave the village, and I would like cross over the water and be like, everybody got dysentery and died. I never made it like past 15 minutes of playing that game. It's so crazy. All right, you ready to switch back?
Yeah, let's switch it back.
All right. Oh no, don't do it. You don't do it yet.
Oh, that's my
Hello.
Hello friends. Here, I want to put my necklace on.
She's very obsessed with her necklaces.
I know, I'm obsessed with this one particularly because it's got that great big jasper on it that I'm in love with. It's funny. Stones definitely have a fashion and a season. And sometimes you can find a stone and you'll see it everywhere. You're like sick of it.
Clem,
then-
you need some mules. Sorry. That just caught me off guard. Thank you, Clem.
Mules. Well, sometimes when we're in Tucson, I feel like I could use a mule.
I feel like I am the mule.
And you know what? She is the mule.
Correct.
She's carrying, she's got backpack, she's got pulling.
I was carrying the whole party's bag. So everybody gonna invite all the friends out. Oh,
and then our
yes,
friends
I'll
when we're
carry
shopping
your
together,
bags.
Azalea, she's a good daughter. She's like,
we were smart the last time we had the wagon, so my job was just pulling
She's
the
got to
wagon
pull the wagon.
exactly like a mule.
So you were the mule.
Correct.
So anyway, sometimes these beads go in and out of fashion, and I'm happy because I haven't seen this stone, and I've been in the business like 10 years or more. And sometimes you just can't get it. And then when you do get it, you're like, I try not to, you can't buy everything you see, but I saved myself one of this kit, and I love it. I can't save another one because we just sold them all and that's it. I can't make any more.
Yeah, you made sure that we could sell 10, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see it. So anyway, it's good. You guys got in on that little bit of extra that I love, those beads. Yeah, it's just like the thing with some of these pearls. Back in the day, you used to be able to get faceted pearls that were killer, not faceted pearls that look not great. You can't get them anymore because too much pollution, and the pearls don't have that thick nacre that you can go and grind down and actually facet. So it's kind of neat. Sometimes you can get stuff that you can't get anymore, like orange kyanite. Remember those days? Because I was looking at me like, you're going on about orange kyanite again, and you can't even
An
get
hour
it.
and 48 minutes.
Oh my God, Azalea, this is the longest one. How come you didn't say anything to me?
Because you like to.
You're gonna say what? That Mama
Nothing.
likes to talk. You've never seen a faceted pearl, Vicky? I'm gonna set one aside for you.
Yes,
You're
thank you,
gonna get
Vicky.
some, Vicky. You sent me a serger. I can
A
send you
tiny
some
serger. It's like
faceted
this
pearls.
big.
It's so
It's the
adorable.
smallest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen a sewing machine smaller than that, and it's a serger too.
I
Fully
know.
thread. That's so crazy.
High on the Oregon Trail. I think, don't people die on the Oregon Trail? Like even today, like they get caught in the snow. To me, I'm
That
not
seems
doing
like
that in the
a
winter.
hard pass. Like I'd like to go on adventures, but not ones that are like so many people have died,
Mhm.
and you could too. You probably will, and then it's like, oh, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes, you're going through the Blue Ridge Mountains and it can be wavy gravy, especially up by Craggy. Azalea laughs her head off whenever I'm driving because I'm like this. It's called white knuckle driving.
It's not even
And
that scary.
It's not that scary.
because it's a
but
2 wide lane road.
she says wide, but
It's
when
not
you're
wide.
driving, we'll see. When you're driving it, we'll
Yeah,
see what
that's true.
happens. You were getting all intimidated by Biltmore area.
Correct.
Yeah. So no.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Craggy.
That was talking out of my ass. That's what that was.
Carrie Arase, our friend, she says, come late. That's fine. That's fine. Thank you for showing up for us. Blue Ridge Mountains are scary. They can be. They can be very scary. All right, friends, we've been going on for almost 2 hours. Usually we don't go that long, but lately my tutorials sometimes I am not very fast, unfortunately.
It's okay.
But anyway,
Well, we'll send invoices tomorrow, and thank you guys for showing up.
yes,
and
thank you
watching
so.
us. We appreciate it. We may or may not go again this Wednesday, but we'll just see
All
what
right,
happens.
so as far as the Zoom that's coming up, we're thinking.
Paula has an important question. I am new to the sale, so how do I pay you for lots 288 and 204? If you're not in our system, you can message me on Facebook and send me your email and shipping address, and then I can send you an invoice. But if you have bought from us before, I'll just send you an invoice.
Yes. Or, so we'll send it through Shopify. That's how it goes.
It'll all be very official. It'll tell you, what you picked in detail.
It's nice because it's an
official invoice and
it's not going to get
tracking.
lost, and it has tracking. It's the best part. We're so thankful that we got Shopify, and it's so much better than our other website, which was kind of difficult to manage. Oh, thank you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. If you ever get in the mood to like and share our videos, we really appreciate it. It helps spread the word and helps keep us doing what we love doing. So we're just really grateful that we have our friends up here showing up and watching me, paint beads or making shrinky dinks or whatever it is we're doing. So thanks so much, you guys,
for joining us for Magic Hour. Magic Hour.
Yes, Ruth, we do accept PayPal. Hey, our friend Mike.
Hi. Howdy,
ex-neighbor.
Ex-neighbor.
You know what, Mike? It took me a long time to get used to you, and now that we finally got used to you, you guys moved away, and now I'm not used to the house being all like weirdly empty. I don't like it at all. So just know that you guys are missed. All right. Thank you all so much, and we hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week and possibly Wednesday. Azalea, I'm trying to get her to do a tutorial on our new bags that we're making for the necklace. So I'm trying to get her to do it. So she's giving me a maybe. Maybe almost means yes, right?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good night,
everybody.
Love you all.
Goodbye.